welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. This is your Saturday Vibe edition. All right, so the Indiana Fever lost to the New York Livy, the defending champions, and by two. A game which they had a 12-point lead after coming back from a 15-point deficit. The Indiana Fever lost the momentum because of mismatch problems. And I said this, DeWanna Bonner should have stayed in the game, or you could have gave Bree Turner a blow, or Michaela Tipson a blow in the game that could really help kept some of the momentum there by playing sound defense and rebounding and keeping them in front. They didn't do that. You put Natasha Howard back in the game, who was hurting us throughout the game. Natasha Howard did not score. She led the team a couple of nights ago in scoring, but she had 8 boards and 6 points and 4 fouls, and she played 19 minutes. Honestly, she should have got she should have had got less minutes than that, to be honest with you, because they was targeting her the whole time. They was targeting her. They put her in pick and roll situation, and Stewie got whatever she want. Now, Stewie did get some favorable calls, some BS calls that she should have never got. Because the fact of the matter is that she got to the line early on in the first quarter. That's how they got into a big lead. The Fever got down, but they made it a run. They was down 9 at halftime, and then the third quarter kicked off. They made a run late in the third. They started getting things going. Aaliyah Boston had a magnificent game again. She had 27 points, 13 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Lexi Hall played a hell of a game. She was 6 for 9 from the field, 2 for 2 for three. She played 26 minutes, had 15 rebounds. She also had 4 fouls. But Lexi played her, and so when I tell you this, when her and Sophie is on the floor, this team plays a whole lot of difference. I do not like Kelsey Mitchell having the ball in her hand. I do not like it at all. I don't like her running the point. She plays better off ball, better than Caitlin plays better off ball. Because when Caitlin sets her up, she can easily take a jump. She can take a shot. When she starts trying to dribble and dance around, she gets in trouble a whole lot. You've seen her turn the ball over early on in the game and everything because she's trying to press. Stephanie White alluded to this in her post game conference. When you have a lead, you do not try to come in and go for the juggler. As soon as Kelsey Mitchell came in the game when we had that lead, she went for the juggler. You started missing shots and you started allowing them back in the game. There was a couple of baskets that we had under there that we could have pushed it to about 14, 16 points, had a comfortable lead. But then you started playing this game, not to lose the game, trying to run the time down. No, they was putting pressure on us. We got to put pressure on them. Because now, I said this on my live, Indiana Fever match up very well with New York. Very well. Very well. Even though Laney Hamilton hasn't played, I think Kennedy Burke wouldn't have been in the game if Laney Hamilton had played. Because Laney would have been on Caitlin Clark. Because because Laney is a bigger body, and you could put her in pick and roll action. I have seen it before where Caitlin Clark actually got off some shots. They threw Lonnie Fevich, who got hurt and then came in the game. They put Marine Johannes on Caitlin. They had Burke on Caitlin. They had Natasha Howard on Cloud on Caitlin. They had doggone Stewie on Caitlin. They had Jockwell Jones on Caitlin. They had doggone who else on Caitlin? Probably some fans in the stands. They do 8 to 7 different bodies on Caitlin Clark in this game. Now Caitlin struggled until the second half, late in the second half. She finally got her rhythm, a couple of threes here and there. She finished with what, 10, 12 assists? Yeah, she had 10 assists, and 5 rebounds. But the fact of the matter is that Kelsey Mitchell had 15 points. She was 2 for 7 from 3, 6 for 16 from the field. She has to play the way they played again in the Chicago game. That's how they need to be playing fluid basketball. They don't need to be trying to knock opponent out and all of that stuff. That's Caitlin Clark's job to hit them knockout blows. Everybody else need to play their position. Aaliyah Boston did everything. She did everything right today. She actually bounced back from a poor performance. Kelsey Mitchell is still trying to just play the game. Stop trying to prove something. You got a chance to win a championship. And this is the difference between the defending champions and a contending champion, a contender. A contender still trying to execute and find ways. A defending champion already knows how to win games. These games like this, I keep saying, you have to make sure that you win them, because these are the games that is going to separate you from winning and losing on a big stage. Now, I want to show y'all something. This is Tasha Cloud. People sit there and say, well, there was no foul. She hit all ball. First, that's the same thing Ryan Howard did, hooking her. That's a foul should have been called right then and there. Then you got her hand at the below. You got a hand hitting her hand, no touching the ball. That's a foul. Then you got her hand right there on her shoulder. Then there was another footage where she had both hands. That's probably the bottom footage. That should have been a foul. But nonetheless, check this out. So, I think this is right.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot.
No, that's not a one. How in the world that is not a foul? How is that not a foul? Natasha Howard do not have ups like that. She all body was on the Wanda Bonner, and she could not get the foul call. Right then and there, with that play, I'm gonna show you one more time because I think I think it was 88 a piece. It was 88 a piece. That would have put the Fever ahead. That would have put them ahead. And then keep going back to the same one. Check this one.
To give the Liberty the lead.
I mean, she turns the corner and gets downhill. I don't know, Lexi Hall vertical. Maybe that's offense-initiated contact, and maybe Stephanie White's going to take a look at it.
So, Sabrina Nescu drove inside, threw her body inside Lexi Hall. Now, Lexi Hall has her hand up the whole entire time. The whole entire time. You can't jump into somebody, initiate contact. That's an offensive foul. Offensive foul. I wish Sophie Cunningham had came over and got a hand on the ball to tie her up. That would have been a perfect scenario, but it didn't. Then it came down to this.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off. Cloud locks her up. And New York comes into Indianapolis and takes the checkered flag.
There was the whole sequence. Natasha Cloud put her hands all over her, all over Caitlin Clark. Now they do come back to Indiana in June. They do come back to Indiana in June, and we're gonna see the difference in the officiating. And I want to see the difference of officiating on Wednesday and Friday. The thing about it, people, is this: the New York Liberty are the defending champions, and you gotta almost play a flawless game. And the Indiana Fever, for the most part, didn't play a flawless game. Clark had 10 turnovers. Some of them turnovers due to others from the ball. Natasha Howard have nothing but point blank bunnies under the rim, and you missing them. Kelsey Mitchell, same thing, missing them. She had a fast break by herself, and she missed it. You got to realize if you trying to win a championship or make it deep into the playoffs, you got to execute every little bit. And I get it. I get it. I get it. It is 4 games into the season. But now you got to work out some of them kinks. Like Stephanie White said, you got to be consistent. You can't go for the knockout blow. You got to play within the lead. Build the lead up. Keep making stops. Keep executing. Everything don't have to be a body blow all the time. A boxer don't get a body blow unless he sets up his opponent throughout each round. You got to be able to make the right decisions, and they got to move better. They don't move better. I ain't gonna lie. I don't, like I said, I do not know what's going on with Kelsey Mitchell. I'm really concerned about her real now. For the last few games, she has not been playing like herself. It's like she wants to do it all. And you play like how you played with Caitlin Clark the second half of the season. Utilize all your strength around you. You got more help. You don't have to do it all. And then you passing the ball in traffic, turning the ball over. I mean, luckily the Fever got enough firepower to come back in these games now. Because if this was last year, they'd have got blown out. It'd have been ugly. We have been calling for Chrissy Sides to be fired. Me personally, I know if we going into 5 games in the season, it's going Stephanie White gonna have to make hard decisions in that starting lineup. Like Lexi Hall got the start today. That's good. To me, I would have wanted to see Sophie and Lexi start in the lineup. You know why? Because they would have been able to move. Or if not, put Lexi and DeWanna Bonner. DeWanna Bonner should have started, and Natasha Howard should have stayed for matchup purposes. Lexi played a lot of great matchup. She made Sabrina Nescu work for her points. She made her. You had you would have had a great feel, and then you would have kept Natasha Cloud on what's her name. But nevertheless, man, 32 free throws to 15. That's not no. You're not gonna win games like that. And then on top of everything else, Caitlin Clark was struggling, and we still managed to almost win this game. But we gotta put. I said this. We gotta find a way to get DeWanna Bonner some action too, so she can score points. I think DeWanna Bonner confidence is shook. Not as bad, but I think her shooting confidence is shook. But one thing about DeWanna Bonner, she's such a professional. She goes out there and contribute in other ways when her shot ain't working, and that's where I say that um Kelsey needs to do. I think that Natasha Howard needs to do more. If your shot ain't working, you need to play harder on defense. And they gotta stop fouling every time. I understand you playing aggressive defense, but stop playing overly aggressive. overly aggressive. Like again, I think to me, Caitlin came on in the second half. Lexi had a great game. Her and Leah Boston had a really great game. I take my hats off to them. They play lights out. I think they know that they should have won this game. I think they know that there was a lot of mistakes, a lot of meat on the bone that they left. And I think by the time June come around again, they play them for the second time. I think they will beat them. I believe they'll beat them because now they got a feel of this team. And see now you got New York thinking too. Oh, hey, this team, we can't play around with them. And as much firepower that New York has, and we was able to neutralize that and for our game, it's good. But one of my subscribers, Frederick, we was talking on live. The Fever need to go out and get a big. To be honest with you, they need a big. Because I think if you get a big, move Aaliyah to the power forward this position, had DeWanna Howard, DeWanna Bonner at the small forward position, and have Lexi in there. Because at sometimes you might have to sit Kelsey Mitchell. To be honest with you, you might have to sit her. But I think the Fever needs a big. They really need to be looking for a big in the second half of the season. Somebody that could run the floor really well, could score under the basket, and can play really good defense. They need a big, to be honest with you, because it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. This line, they front five, they five is too small in the center position for Leo Boston to deal with Jacare Jones and trying to deal with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Because you need a big that could really control the paint and make other players, where they can't come in there. Because if you think about it, Sabrina Ionescu driving like that, you make her change her shot. Same thing with Natasha Howard. I mean, she was really hustling, but again, let me know what you think, guys, because I think this game right here shows me right now that the Indiana Fever still have a lot of work to do, a lot of work, but Stephanie White, she did good, she had some good moments, but people were saying, well, she needed to call a timeout, and challenge, she needed to challenge the call for Lexi Hall, but she couldn't. The thing about it is she didn't have no more timeout, so you didn't want to risk getting a technical foul, saying. Then they shooting a free throw. And then when Sabrina Ionescu missed the first two free throws, that's what that should have told Chicago right then and there. Set up an easy play, inside out, get an easy bucket. But they didn't. They try to get a quick shot. So the next game for the Fever is Wednesday when they play a talented, feisty Washington Mystics. This is a game that happened in preseason where Caitlin didn't even play in this game. So you're going to have your hand full because this team is scrappy too. And you can easily lose a game like this if you don't come in there ready to roll. So until the next episode, like, comment, subscribe. This is your Saturday Vibe edition, Live Wire Sports Media. And if you don't know, now you know.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.